بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب السماوات ورب الأرض رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. Dear beloved viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I welcome you to this episode, Zakat in Islam. In today's episode, we are going to extend our conversation and our discussions on Zakat for business assets. We have covered some details about its conditionalities, about its nisab, about the condition of hawl, among others. Today, we want to move a little bit into another category of business. The one we discussed in the previous episode was much more to do with the main street business, the business of buying and selling. But we understand there are so diverse types of business, and these would be the likes of service businesses. This could be the like of real estate businesses, among others. So for today, we are going to talk about the real estate business. But before we do that, it's important for me to say that with regards to the main street business, where you buy goods and you sell them, okay, or you produce goods and then you sell them, how do you give that zakat? Do you give zakat on cash or goods or what? So with respect to giving the zakat, after you have done your calculation as we spoke in the previous episode, say that your net zakatable assets worthy 1 million Kenya shilling, and you applied, say, 2.5% if you are following a Hijra calendar. Now, you get an amount there, like, 25,000, okay, 25,000 Kenya shilling. Subhanallah, this is very small amount. As you can see, you have 1 million and you only pay 25,000 out of it per year. I don't think there is any tax regime that that is so considerate or lower with respect to this. However, zakat is not a tax. As we said, Ibn al-Qayyim used to say that zakat is a blessing, is a bounty. It's not a penalty. So it's a worship. You get rewards out of doing it, and the rewards are manifold. As we have mentioned in previous episode, the ayah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا أُوتِيتُم مِّن زَكَاةٍ تُرِيدُونَ وَجْهَ اللَّهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُضْعِفُونَ. That for whatever charity you give, only seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the reward will be multiplied. So zakat is not like a tax or something like that. So how do you give out? Do you give the 25,000 in cash, or do you give goods worthy 25,000? So there are three major views, major scholarly view with regards to a normal business person, a main street business, the person who is buying and selling clothes, buying and selling shoes, buying and selling motor vehicle, buys and selling, agricultural produce. Here is not the farmer, this is a producer, because we are going to talk about the zakat for farmers, those who are producing agricultural produce. But there are also traders, somebody who bought, raised from the farmer, stocked it, and then is selling on either wholesale or retail price. Okay, so we're talking about this trader in this particular case. So how is he giving his zakat? Okay, is it cash? Is it in kind? So there are three major views with regards to how the business person should give his zakat. The first view is of Imam Abu Hanifa, of which he said that a business person, if he's dealing with consumables, okay, that he is a trader of, say, onions, or is a trader of, cooking oil, or is a trader of rice, consumables, okay, then it is advisable for him to give these consumable items, consumable goods, consumer goods as they're called. Should give consumer goods worthy that amount of 25,000. You should give it to the deserving categories of zakat recipient or asnaf. This is one view. The other view says that, of course, the first view says that if he's dealing with consumer goods, he will give those consumable goods. But if he's dealing with the likes of, say, construction materials, okay, or he deals with medicines, is a pharmacy, okay, then he should not give drugs, or he should not give steals in that particular line of business, because it is not going to be useful to the poor or the needy, those who deserve to be given. So in this kind of business, you will give cash, okay, and this is the first view of Imam Abu Hanifa, that you can give commodities if they are consumable. If your business was dealing with consumable items, you'll give them those consumable goods. But if you deal with non-consumable goods, okay, then it is advised to give them money, to give them cash. Now, the other view of Imam Shafi and Al-Muzani is that of only goods. Irrespective of consumable or non-consumable, you have to give them goods. Okay, you are a trader, you made a valuation, this is what you have. Okay, you give them the goods worthy the amount of zakat. So if you are a trader of steel, or you are a trader of clothes, if you're a trader, you valued it, okay, you give them the goods of that value. Okay, and lastly is the view of Imam Ahmad, of which he said you give them cash, okay, not goods. Okay, and this is a much more convenient position, much more suitable to the poor, because if we start giving the poor clothes worthy 25,000, or you give drugs worthy 25,000, okay, it will not be beneficial for that poor person, okay. But if you give cash, that means he can be able to meet his needs and solve his problems. So, however, all these views are acceptable. You just have to choose one of the view and stick with it. So these are broader views. So choose one and stick to it, and inshallah ta'ala your zakat will be proper. After saying that, now let me go to the real estate business. Nowadays, this is a multi-billions business, real estate business. And we see some are developing, some are simply buying plots, allocate them, put some infrastructures to add value to those plots, and then they sell them. Okay, so it's important for us to look at the zakat position with respect to this interesting business. And as I said earlier, zakat on business asset is very dynamic. Okay, we cannot just generalize and say that zakat on business, it is this. As you shall see, we've just finished zakat on mainstream business of buying and selling. You will see that though there are similarities with zakat on real estate, but again, there are some differences which we need to be very careful about. So there are two kinds of real estate. Of course, the one that you build to stay yourself for personal use, there's no zakat for you building your own house to stay in. So the house that you build to stay in, no zakat. But the house that you build for reselling, from day go, you are intending to build residential units for reselling, or you are planning to build residential units for leasing. Okay, Now you are a business person. This is a business, okay, and hence we need to look at its conditionality to ensure that if those conditionalities are met, then it will be zakatable. And if they are not met, it is not zakatable. So the first condition is intention in this particular case. The condition for real estate business is first, what do you intend to do with this property? When you are buying a piece of land, your intention is to resell it, then that means it has met this condition. This is not for personal use. It's for business. You are intending to resell it. Maybe after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the period you want it to appreciate, but there you go, you want to resell it. Or sometimes you bought it for your own use, but 3 years down the line, you changed your intention. Now it is for selling or it is for leasing. So that is so the case, then you start considering it is zakatability because condition of intention has been met. So the intention here should be to sell or to lease. If you hold a real estate with an intention to lease or an intention to sell, that means condition 1 has been fulfilled. We need to look at other conditions if they are fulfilled. The second one is nisab. Okay, whether that real estate that you want to sell or a plot that you want to sell, has it reached the value of nisab, gold standard or silver standard? Okay, the nisab of silver, as we said, is 595 grams. And the nisab for gold, we said it is 85 grams. So the value of that in money, in monetary terms, if you are selling your house or you're selling the plots worthy that value and above, that means this condition has been met. The third condition is the condition of hawl. Though there are disputes, there are different opinions, as we shall see, is the issue of hawl, particularly with respect to rental income. Okay, now you build, the intention is to rent, not to sell. Okay, so if that is so the case, then there is a condition of hawl. Okay, has it stayed for a year? Okay, has those plots that you intended to resell, have they completed a year? Because you pay zakat on real estate annually. This is for houses built. The fourth condition is ownership. For somebody to be eligible to pay zakat, he should own that particular property. It should be his property or the property under his guardianship, for which he has been given full power to discharge zakat. And the last one is you have to deduct a debt. If there is a debt, okay, you have creditors or you have financial institutions that have claims on whatever you do on your business, then you have to deduct what is due to these creditors. So these are general conditions, but we will come back and discuss again about these conditions with respect to properties for sale, properties for lease. So we will discuss specifically about these two kind of assets because, as I said earlier, in the leasing, properties for lease, some of these conditions that we have mentioned, this generic condition I've mentioned, there are more than one views, scholarly opinions with respect to them. So it's good to handle carefully each category of property. So we're taking a short break. When we come back, we will start discussing the properties for sale.